Do you see those lemons? I don't know what's going on with these peppers. If I told you I got 10 strawberries from this whole green stalk, I'd be lying. Oh, come on. She looking tropical. She looking like, I think we are in Jamaica. Y'all, everything is just soppy wet. There's one thing for certain, there's two for sure. The July garden does not look like the June garden. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here. In this video, I'm going to be giving you a garden tour of all of my garden spaces at the end of July. So this is the July garden tour video, and we're going to show you the good and the not so good, because trust me, there is some not so good in the July garden tour. But I'm so glad that you're here. Wherever you're coming in from, please say hello down in the comments if you are brand new, so that I know where you're coming in from and I can say hello back to you. So tell me what city, state, or country you are coming in from. I'm so glad that you're here, and welcome to my channel. Also, if you are not new here, thank you so much for continuing to show up and to support me. And y'all, today we're going to have a time, because as we go through all of the garden spaces, I'm going to show you what it really looks like in reality in my garden at the end of July. So for those that are brand new here, let me kind of give you the backdrop of what you're going to see today. So we have three main gardening spaces. My name is Barbara. I live in the state of Tennessee, and so I'm in zone 7B. And so right now the sun is brightly shining. But we're going to try to make it through this tour and get on in the house before it gets too hot. We are under a heat index today where it's going to be up to 112 degrees. It doesn't feel like it right now, but I'm at the top of the morning. So we're going to see if we can make it through this, because I want to make sure I can show you all the stuff before your girl pass out. Okay, so right now it's only like 80 degrees, but the spot that I'm in, it feels like it's probably like 90. But let me kind of walk you through what you're going to see today and where we're starting. So we have three main garden spaces here on our farm. The space that we're going to start with is in my backyard. This is where my garden started, literally, y'all, 6 years ago. April 2020 is when I did the first garden. My husband and my son built me 4 raised beds. I now have 5 raised beds back here because we added a bed the next year. But this is all where it started. So we garden here in this space pretty much primarily in the summer and the fall and the winter. But in the fall and winter, we're just doing like our garlic and things like that. In the summer, it's what we call our second summer garden, because we have the onions and the garlic back here up until like the first part of June. This does not get planted for the summer until like mid-June. And so a lot of the things that you see here are going to look different than what you see in the other spaces that have been in the ground like since April. Okay, so I will walk you through each space as we get to it. But now let's just start in our backyard in the first garden space, and let me take you around and show you what's going on at the end of July. Okay, we're going to start with the green stalks. I have 6 green stalks out here. And so this first one is where we had the strawberries. You can see it's green, it's lush, but what you don't see are any strawberries. And what you have not seen are strawberries. If I told you I got 10 strawberries from this whole green stalk, I'd be lying. It ain't even been 10, y'all. It may have been 7. Y'all, I don't know. Me and strawberries, the strawberries are telling me, girl, just go to the local orchard like you've been doing. I got all these runners. Now, I need to put these in my cute little berry cups, which is why I tried strawberries again. But this variety, I don't remember the variety. I have to look it up, and I'll put it on the top of the screen. There's some chamomile growing right there. Y'all, it just did not produce whatsoever. Let's just move on. I'm going to come back and talk about the strawberries and what the final determination is. Here is the second green stalk. This is a 3-tier. And this is our coleus that is so beautiful. That's really the only thing that is thriving that's left in here. This was full with flowers. If you guys remember from the June garden tour, it was full of flowers. We do have a raven quartzcomb there that's growing slowly. And we got a couple of petunias left, but most of the petunias were looking really, really bad. So I took those out, and what's really left is this coleus. And I've made flower arrangements with her. She looks great. with flower arrangements and just beauty in the green stalk. I got one petunia right there hanging on. This here is my other green stalk. We had tomatoes, eggplants, and basil. And this one, you can see for the most part, a lot of this is just doing okay. I found a hornworm on this eggplant right here, right before I turned the camera on. It was huge. And you can see I have hornworm damage, which I've never seen hornworms on eggplants, but I guess they thought, that looks good. Here is the orange hat tomato. I'm not impressed at all. This is my first time trying it. It did okay. I got some peppers there. And then you can see I got some hornworm damage here on this tomato here that needs to be pulled out. I have one tomato there that's left. But this green stalk, again, all of the rain, all of the water, less nutrients, it just did not fare well after we got into like mid-July. Before that was looking much better. But you can see it's mostly empty. I only have eggplant and tomato still in that. This green stalk here, again, was another one full of flowers. The yarrow is still looking good and hanging on. We got a couple of petunias peeking in. But the rest of it, as you can see, does not look so hot. You can see I got some leftover weeds growing there. Y'all, everything is just soppy wet because of all the rain that we've had. And so this yarrow is the only thing that's really thriving in this particular green stalk. This one right here, we had all of our spring stuff. We had our lettuces, our spinach, and all that in there. Once that came out, we tried growing green beans in here, but that did not work. I think I have one green bean somewhere. Our herbs are still looking good that we did at the top. And then I have some marigolds that are still looking great. I have some sage that's looking great. Lavender. So the herbs are doing fine. I have one green bean right there that is so slow producing. But all of the herbs, that's a marjoram there, looks great. And then this green stalk here, this is where we had our onions that we pulled we pulled these, I think, in July. Yeah, the first part of July. And then I replaced it with an experiment of doing some sweet potatoes. I think I have 4 sweet potato vines. There's one there. You can see how they're filling out. They do have some bug damage, it looks like, but that's pretty typical. And then I have a couple more around here. I'm just trying it out. I've never grown sweet potatoes in a green stalk, so we're going to see what happens. So y'all, for the most part, the green stalks, you know, wherever they are for the summer is where they are. I'm not going to replace them or replace the stuff in here with more summer crops. Maybe green beans, and that's about it. But it's too late to really do anything else. You guys have heard me talk about we've had like 40 days and nights of rain. And y'all, at this point, it's like 50 days and nights of rain. The rain has been literally, y'all, non-stop. This is the first day in the forecast that we're not supposed to have rain, and we're not supposed to have rain again for 4 more days. So we're going to have a stretch of 5 days, if the weather holds, of no rain. We have not had a stretch of 5 days of no rain since literally, y'all, the end of May. It has been raining non-stop in Tennessee where we are. So the plants are definitely suffering, especially when you have stuff that's grown in green stalks or containers. They need to be fertilized every week, if not every 2 weeks. It's been hard to fertilize because of so much rain, but then also the rain leaches the nutrients. And so they look okay. And for the stuff that's left in here, it looks good. But the stuff that we've had to take out of the green stalk because of all of the rain and making it look bad, then that's just is what it is. So I'll let this kind of be for the rest of the summer. I may plant some green beans in some of the open spots if we have some success with that. But then also I will replace some of these with some of the fall things like lettuce and spinach, just so that I have some, that I can come and grab out of the house. And we might do some flowers like some alyssum and things like that, and calendula. But for the most part, we're going to let the green stalks be. I don't usually use my green stalks in the wintertime. Fall is iffy every now and then, but definitely not in the winter. Now let's move on to our I'll call it our citrus area that we have in the backyard. So we have 5 plants back here that are fruit, and they're back here because we want to be able to pull them in the house when the winter time comes. So we'll start with our banana tree. I don't think you guys have seen this as of yet. It's been in the sunroom. We just brought it out here this month, and I realized after the fact that banana trees like shade. It wasn't the direct sun, and it was looking beautiful, and then it looked dead. But now she's coming back, but I think we still need to probably put it under a tree. But so far she's looking good. I don't know how long it takes for bananas. This is more of a novelty idea. We got this from a friend. We'll see if we can grow bananas, but I don't know if they take years, months. I have no idea. But the plant looks good. Let me know if you know. This over here, y'all, this is the best looking lemon tree I have ever had. Do you see those lemons? I have some on the other side turning yellow. So the lemons, they start like looking like limes. They're green, and then they ripen to yellow. But then, y'all, I have some more buds forming there. Some more lemons forming. But I have 2 big juicy ones here. This whole plant looks good. I'll take you around to the other side. As we're going around to the other side, this is my mandarin orange tree. This is the Owara variety. Here's the other side of the lemons. I don't know if you can tell. I got one turning there. There's another one. And then I have some more over there. But it looks so good. And then this is a lime tree. It hasn't started producing yet. I just got this one in February. This one I got last, I want to say September. And then this is my avocado tree. It's been riddled with damage from the Japanese beetle, so it doesn't look as great. This is a cold hardy avocado tree. Yes, I'm growing trying to grow avocados in Tennessee. This is a cold hardy avocado tree. So we'll see what happens. This is my first time growing avocados. So this is our little citrus area here. So everything that you see in this citrus area here behind me, with the exception of the banana tree, is from fast growing trees. All 4 of those, the lemon, the lime, the mandarin, and the avocado tree. As you guys know, if you've been here before, we just started our very first orchard last fall. And so we are new to fruit trees. I don't know fruit trees like I know vegetables, but you trust and believe, I will. But I have noticed a difference. We bought fruit trees from 3 different vendors, and by far, the things from fast growing trees look the best when compared to all the other ones. So I can say with confidence that fast growing trees, their product is great. Now, I was buying from fast growing trees before I became an affiliate. I am an affiliate for fast growing trees. I do have a discount code in the description box on every video if you want to get a 20% off discount on anything at fast growing trees. The code is, I will put it up here because we just got a new code. I think it's LFF-trees. But if not, I will put it right up here. It will also be in the description box if you're in the market for fruit trees. I will tell you that as we go into the fall, this is a good time to buy fruit trees and get them in the ground, like August and September, so that they have time to start, growing before the spring. Now, obviously you can plant fruit trees in the spring, and many people do that, but our orchard, you will see, was planted back in September. And so by the time the spring came, that already was getting established. Now, of course, we don't have any fruit or anything like that, but fall is a good time to plant fruit trees. But I highly recommend fast growing trees if you're in the market for fruit trees. Now, let me also tell you this in case, y'all. So I had did this video, the part that you see, so I'm redoing it again, which is because I love y'all. I had did it in the wrong orientation, so I'm having to redo it again. So I don't remember if I said this on the first video before I switched to this camera, but if I didn't, if you see a jungle behind me, it is a jungle, right? I have on almost, I don't have on knee-high boots, but I have on tall boots because our riding lawnmower broke about a week and a half ago. Our riding lawnmower broke. It's at the Kubota shop, and so we have not had a lawnmower for it'll be 2 weeks this in the next couple of days. So imagine not being able to mow your grass, and we've had rain every day. It is, my front yard looks like nobody lives here. It is a hot mess, but there's nothing you can do about it. When you got I don't know anybody who got 2 riding lawnmowers. If you got 2 riding lawnmowers, then you to the good, but we have 1 riding lawnmower, and that one is at the Kubota shop. And so, yeah, that's what we got. So if you see my yard looking unkept, it is unkept. My husband's not lazy. We just don't have a mower. Okay. So we're going to look past that. No judgment zone. But I did want to mention to you, yes, the grass is high, but it's the end of July. We got to do an end of the July garden tour, and the mower is probably not going to be fixed for another couple of days. So that's the way you have it. And I'm about to go out of town. What else is new? Okay. So now let's move on. We've seen the green stalks. We've seen the citrus area. Now let's look at the 5 raised beds that's back here in the backyard. Now what I will tell you is is that this section back here that you see, that we're about to see, was all planted in, I would say, starting mid-June and then on into July. Versus what you're going to see in my other garden spaces, those were planted in April and in May. So we'll talk about it after we go around and look at these 5 raised beds. Okay, so this is bed number 1. So this bed right here are tomatoes, green beans, basil, and a couple of peppers and some flowers. It's looking really, really good. I got some work I need to come in here and do. My tomatoes have gone wild. I do have like a stick there that you can't really see, maybe. But I need to, I got some new trellises that I need to put up. You know how it goes, time. But I'm starting to get some Roma tomatoes on these, which is great. You can see that there, the Roma tomatoes. And all of these plants in this bed and the beds that you're going to see are what I call old plants. These are plants that we started back in February and March when we were starting seeds. I planted my outside garden. I planted my high tunnel, and I still had plants left over that nobody wanted to buy. And by the time we got to that point, they were looking pretty bad. And so I could not bring myself to throw them away. And so I just kept them. And they were looking bad. I showed you on the video how bad they were looking. That is this bed. Do you see how these plants have come back to life? When I tell you it was looking all spindly and bad, but now we have plenty of growth. So we have a pepper there that's growing. We have some green beans growing right there. We have a marigold. That was an old marigold. Everything that you see in this bed, beside the green beans, there's basil. So, I don't care how bad it looks. Even these zinnias were old. But now, this bed is full and thriving. Let's go to the next bed. Same thing in this bed. We have marigolds. There is some marjoram, again, left over. Peppers. These are jalapeno peppers. Again, these are peppers that I started back in February or March. They were looked bad for a long time. They're just now starting to green up and grow. They were looking yellow. If you go back to the last video in June, you'll see that. Marigolds, petunias. I finally have some jalapeno peppers coming. You can see that there. I have a pepper there. Here's a dahlia. Not blooming yet, but that's okay. It's looking good. And then here is our new variety of cantaloupe that we're growing. It's called the Minnesota Midget. And so it's growing nicely. It's supposed to be smaller, but it's still vining. But hopefully it'll be okay. I got plenty of flowers. And there's one little tiny cucumber, excuse me, not cucumber, cantaloupe developing. Here is another pepper plant there. This is some holy basil or Tulsi. I got that from Azure Standard. It's looking good. Peppers, green beans, more peppers. Again, the peppers are just now starting to get flowers after all this time that they've been in here. And then I have a cayenne pepper plant there. This bed here, our sweet potato bed. So you and I planted this together just about 30 days ago. I'm assuming, let me see. It's the end of July. We planted this, no. We planted this probably mid-June. So this is probably 6 weeks at this point. But you can see the sweet potato bed is filling out. We do have some weeds growing in there that we're trying to stay on top of, but because the weeds and the sweet potato vines are intertwined, I pulled out a couple and got me a couple of vines. So I just said, hey, let me just stop before I pull up something that I don't want to pull up. But that's one sweet potato bed there. And then I'll skip over this bed so I can show you the other sweet potato bed. This is our other sweet potato bed. This definitely has way more weeds than that one. But you can see it's filled out. If you see previous footage of what it looked like last month, it was not nearly this filled out. So the sweet potatoes are doing great. Now let's go back to this bed right here, the very last bed. Let's start with this trellis. This trellis in last month was covered with cucumbers. I have taken the cucumbers out a few days ago. That's the cucumber pile right there that we need to get rid of. I'm not going to compost it because it did have a lot of, it has some disease on it, so I pulled it out. But this trellis here, I can still put some beans or something down here that can go on this trellis. But on the other side, y'all look, purple hull peas. Again, I had 4 purple hull pea plants that I started from seed that were left over that I didn't have space for outside, and I put them here. And hopefully they will grow. Now, when I was taking out the cucumber plants, they were all intertwined, and so I broke a couple of the plants. But I'm hoping that they'll bounce back, is what I'm hoping. This is another dahlia there. It has not bloomed yet, but it's looking great. That's from Petal Pickers. Here are some bell pepper plants that's just now starting to produce a bell pepper. All of these plants right here were not old plants that I started, but I got them from a nursery for like $1. They looked horrible, but now they are growing. And then, y'all, look at my turmeric. I'm so in love. I am so in love. Oh my goodness, y'all. Y'all, come on. She looking tropical. She looking like, I think we are in Jamaica. Yes. Y'all, it's my first time growing turmeric, so that's why I'm hyped. Here is my ginger. First time growing ginger. This one looks good. I have another ginger. Y'all gotta watch my step. When I tell you it's dangerous out here. Here's another ginger. She's not growing as well. She's still green, but she's not nearly as tall as the other one. I don't know why, but that's okay. So that's this bed. That is this bed right here. Okay, so that's pretty much the garden tour part of the outside in my backyard. So you were able to see the green stalks. You were able to see the 5 raised beds. So let me kind of recap what I think about what's going on back here. So out of all the spaces that I have, this definitely looks the best because it was planted last, right? And so what you're going to see as we go to the other garden spaces, there's going to be some things I'm telling you right now that don't look good. That is typical in July. It doesn't mean that I don't feel some kind of way about it, but that's just what's typical. And I even had to go back to my video from last year of the July garden tour to make sure that I was not all in my feelings about why my stuff looked so bad. It looked bad then, and so it looked bad now, okay? everything doesn't look bad, but there's some things that look bad that I'm going to show you because I want to be realistic about what it looks like. But what you see here looks great compared to what we're going to see. And it's because this was planted last. So this is what we call our second succession, our second summer garden. This stuff was not planted until like mid-June, first part of July, everything that you see. And so it hadn't had a chance to get old. It hadn't had a chance to get all of the stuff, right? And so it looks really good. Now, when I put it in the ground, it looked horrible. But now it's looking good. So a couple of lessons. One, if you have old plants, you know, as you're going throughout the summer, like let's say next summer you have some old plants that's left over, before you throw it away, if it has one green leaf, go ahead and put it in the ground. Just go ahead and put it in the ground. Because what's the worst that's going to happen? It's going to die. But if you throw it in the trash, it's definitely going to die. Okay, so that's lesson number one. Number two, in terms of, let me talk about the cucumbers. So I took the cucumbers off the trellis and I've put up all the cucumbers throughout all of my garden spaces. Cucumbers produce very, very well, but they have they have a short shelf life, right? They start looking bad usually around, I would say, a couple of months. They may still be producing, but then you'll start noticing that your cucumbers are looking misshapen or bloated, or your cucumbers may be looking good, but your leaves are like brown and yellow. It's not you. That's normal. So that's why when it comes to cucumbers, I just do several successions. So I have other cucumbers right now that is ready to go in the ground. I just have to take the time and put them out there. So I may have a spell where I don't have any cucumbers, but that's just because I probably shouldn't have pulled them all out, but because I was just like sick and tired, I was like, all of you going, you know what I'm saying? So I pulled all of them out, but I got like, I don't know, 50 million cucumbers on my counter right now. So I'm okay. I'm going to be all right. So I pulled the cucumbers, and plus I wanted to do another succession of some peas and see if I can get some in, and I wanted to create some space. Also, I had way too many cucumbers. There is one cucumber variety that I did this summer that went bananas. It's a brand new variety. It is called Gershwin. I got it from Johnny's, and when I tell you prolific, I could really just had one Gershwin cucumber plant and I would have been to the good. Like literally. And so next year, I will definitely do less cucumber plants because I just cannot keep up with the production, and I just don't need that many cucumbers. So overall, I would say this space is looking good. In terms of the green stalks, they're going to be what they're going to be. I'm not even trying to refill them for the summer. I'm going to do some stuff for the fall, not the winter, just for the fall. So I may do like some flowers and some lettuce and stuff like that. But for the most part, I'm going to let the green stalks be from a summer perspective and let them do what they're going to do. And when their summertime is over, then that's okay. That is okay. I'm not trying to refill them at all. I may pop some green beans in there or something like that, but we'll see. The Roma tomatoes and stuff that you see out here in these beds, the Roma tomatoes, the peppers and all that, we should start being able to harvest, I would say, well into those into August. By August, they will start to being prolific and produce. So we'll be able to harvest stuff out here from these beds. The sweet potatoes are looking good. Sweet potatoes is the long game. I will not harvest these sweet potatoes until October, until like right before the first frost, because they need time to bake, marinate, all the things. Sweet potatoes take 100 to 110 days. So they doing what they do, and we're going to let them do what they do. Okay. So this is the citrus A1. So this is the backyard garden space. Now I'm going to meet you down in one of our other spaces, and we'll do a tour of that space, which is my high tunnel. It is 30 by 96. We have 6 raised beds that are 4 by 8 in length, and then we also have 5 rows that are 45 feet in length. So quite a lot of space, and it is full in here. So we're going to walk through. I'm going to show you what's going on here in the high tunnel. This space was planted first. And so this was planted, I would say, around mid-April, especially when we get back to the in-ground rows, was planted around mid-April. And so it has been in the ground the longest. So as we kind of walk through, I'll explain to you what's what and where things are, and kind of give you a recap of this overall space as we kind of walk through. Now, one of the things, now it is at the end of the day. I was out this morning and it was around 9:30, and then my camera started to overheat at 9:30. And so I have had to stop and then come back, and now we probably have about 45-50 minutes of daylight left, and the temperature is very humid, but it is at least pleasant, and the sun is not shining so bright. I think the heat index today was 112, so very, very hot. That didn't happen, but let me take you around. We'll start with the raised beds, and then we'll work ourselves to the back. We'll start with the first raised bed on the left. Outside the raised bed, this is our mint. We've had this for probably 3 or 4 years. It goes and it comes back, goes and it comes back. But then also in this bed, right behind it, we have another coleus, just like the one that we had in our green stalk. You can see it's growing just fine. This is a new variety called Coloca Sunset. So that's good. And then also we have tons of thyme that has just taken over in that corner. Now before this bed, before the thyme is definitely taken over. Also in this bed we had our spring potatoes, and then those have come out, and then we replaced it with just a couple of bell pepper plants. You can see I have a bell pepper growing right there. We have an eggplant that's not looking so hot. And then also we had some calendula here. I've taken most of the calendula out. I see that I missed one over there because the calendula likes cool weather. When it gets too hot, it starts to look really, really bad. And then we also have a gomphrena here. You can see that's a flower. I had not done gomphrena in a few years, and I did it again this year, and I still don't like it. It's pretty, but it's not. It's supposed to be a cut flower, but because of the way the flowers are positioned on the thing, it's hard to make it a cut flower. It seems too short, and then I don't like the fact that it just kind of takes over. So you can see it's hanging all the way down here. Back here, some basil that's definitely trying to go to seed that we need to prune. It's been pruned several times. And then back here is our snapdragon that was looking beautiful last month, but now not so much. It is dying. We need to prune this back, and it'll absolutely come back as soon as the temperatures die back down. So in this bed mostly are the peppers in terms of food. We have one there, and then the rest is like herbs and flowers. Okay, in the second bed right beside it, we have a marigold in the corner that's kind of taken over that spot. And then we have our tomato. This is a determinate tomato. We have harvested quite a few tomatoes. I see we got one down there that is red and blushing. And then we have another one right there. But determinate put on all their stuff at one time. These are just like some stragglers. We've probably harvested, if I had to guess, I would say at least 30 tomatoes from this. It has produced very, very well. And I liked having a determinate inside the raised bed, inside this trellis. This was called, I don't remember the name. It was my first time growing this variety. And I also see some more right here. None of them have had any disease or pests, which is great. So it's done really, really well. I have to remember the name of this one. I bought it from Better Boy. That's what it is. I can see the tag. It's a Better Boy, and I like it. Also, we have some basil here, and then back there we have some statice that this is my first time ever. I've attempted to grow statice and has done well. This is my first time. I've attempted to grow statice and it has never gone well. This is my first time doing statice, and I just don't like the way it looks like I thought I would. I have some lemon thyme here. I see that some of it is dying, which I'm not sure why, but I'll pull some of this out and, oh, it smells so good. I'll pull some of this out, prune it back, and it'll be just fine. Then we have some more basil there all throughout, and then we have some more tomatoes. We'll go on the other side. Oh man, I didn't realize I had that many tomatoes that were ready to go. I'll show you on the other side. You can see we have an eggplant there. It has not produced anything whatsoever. This zinnia is all the way in the archway. It's fallen down. I need to take it out because I'm certainly not lacking for flowers, and it's nice. It's just gotten so big that y'all, I can't even get through. But I wanted to show you the tomatoes. This is called eye candy. If you can see that, I have tons of them. Y'all, I can't even get through. I'm gonna have to clear this out before I can get to the tomatoes. But just trust me, they're there. I see like at least 7 or 8, which is amazing. And y'all, that lemon thyme is smelling up just because I touched it and moved it. Okay, this is peppermint growing in a pot. It has done really, really well. I need to harvest that and freeze dry it. This right here in this bed is lavender, peppers. We have a jalapeno. This is the mammoth jalapeno plant. It has done well. It's just not prolific. I love the fact that they're really, really big, but it's not prolific at all. Like it gives me, I don't know, less than 10 a week. It's not like most of the other jalapeno peppers. This is another pepper plant that we put in that has not produced yet. And we put this in later on. It was a leftover plant. This is the ahi kawachua. I have it in many other places and I love this pepper. And then we have some other peppers down here that need to be harvested. These are red ember, cayenne. And then we have more basil. We have some celosia. So all of that is good in this bed right here. Now going across, this is the first bed on the right. This is mostly an herb bed, herb and flowers. It has gone wild. Not bad, just everything in here is big. So we have basil there. We have some lavender there, some gomphrena. Then we have more thyme back there in the back. We have chives here. We have zinnias. We have celosia. We have the eucalyptus tree. In the back, we have some rosemary growing. This bed needs to be kind of not cleaned out, but tidied up. Everything in here looks good. It's just a lot of it, and it's kind of all growing together. So it kind of needs to be tidied up. But mostly herbs in this bed. Then this bed here is where we had the bulk of our spring potatoes. We took that out and then we came right behind it and filled this bed. This is, y'all, this thing is going wild. Do you see this? This is, I think this is only one plant. It might be two. This is a delicata squash. My first time ever growing it. And it has pretty much taken over this bed. And then I also have green beans in here and some more Roma tomatoes. The trellis is supposed to be for the Roma tomatoes, which is growing on the center. But this squash has literally taken over and I'm hanging it up on the trellis. Y'all, I promise you this can only be, I think I only put 2 plants in here. Oh my goodness. It has taken up the whole bed. And then I have some green beans back there. Looking good, but they haven't produced anything as of yet. We just put those in there maybe, I don't know, a month ago at the most. You can see this delicata squash is all out here. It is literally taking up the whole bed. Oh, and I see some aphids right there. Oh, never, always something. I'm gonna see if I have more than one in here. I may take one of these out because it is, I did not know it was gonna be like this. I want to try it and I want some because it's a great storage one, I heard, but I don't want it to kill everything else. I'm gonna have to spray because I already am seeing aphids. Ugh. This is like more than like a yellow squash, y'all, in terms of these vines. It's crazy. Okay, let's move on to this bed here. This is some eggplant. Look like it's just now starting to get some flowers. But I think these are aphids too, or some type of, y'all, is that a disease? I was about to pull this eggplant out because It is everywhere. But y'all, I'm just now starting to see some flowers. Those were not there before. It looks like dirt, but I'm pretty sure, I know it's not dirt. So I'm thinking it's some type of insect or disease. Let me know. I've never seen that before, but I think I need to pull it out. Tell me otherwise. Here is another gomphrena on the corner. I have some aster growing there that hasn't flowered yet. And then all throughout the middle are bell peppers. Now, these bell peppers have looked so good, but they have not produced anything. Y'all, these bell peppers, they're tall, leaves are beautiful, but I'm just now starting to see some flowers after all this time. I don't know if it was too hot. I don't know what's going on with these peppers. More peppers. They look good. You can see they're just now getting flowers. Back here in this open space was our borage. It like completely died from the center. And so I pulled it out. And it had a whole bunch of like roly-polies and stuff right by the borage. And so now that I put some diatomaceous earth on it. And now you can't really see the roly-polies anymore. Okay. This right here is our lemon balm. It's finally taken off. It took forever, but it's finally taken off. I wanted to fill up this whole thing. And then over here is our comfrey. Looking good. It has filled out. And this eucalyptus tree is so wild. Okay, so now we're at tomato row, and this is where it starts to get real ugly. I've already pulled probably 4 tomatoes out. You can see the aftermath there. I just did that a couple of days ago because it was already had hornworm damage. It was already looking sickly. I kept the ones that still had some things. But like, look, that has tomatoes, but you can see hornworm damage there. Here's the thing about tomatoes. They don't have a long life. They do good for a couple of months, and then they just start to look bad. In my area, I can only talk from my experience. In my area, in the South, hot heat, you turn on any YouTuber's channel in the month or the end of July, and they're going to be singing the same story about their tomatoes. They just start to look bad. If they make it into August looking good, you are doing something. So we still have tomatoes, but much less than what we had before. We're still harvesting tomatoes. Instead of me getting like one big basket, I am probably getting, I would say, a total of one big basket a week versus one big basket every other day. So we still have tomatoes. Like, all of those look good. That's 3 right there that need to be harvested that look good without disease. So we're still getting them. It has just slowed down tremendously. And they just don't look great. And so if your tomatoes are looking like death, and it's the end of July, and they've been going since May, that's what they do. That is what they do. I have not found anyone, especially that lives in my area or zone, so to speak, or, you know, in the South, not zone, that have good looking tomatoes plants all the way to the end of the year. If you have, then send me their channel so I can go look and see what they're doing. But I haven't like that. There's a beautiful tomato right there. So of course you have some varieties that are doing better than others. But overall, the tomatoes in the greenhouse are just okay. The eggplants in the greenhouse, again, just okay. Y'all, eggplants is one of those things that I don't grow very well. I never have. I get a few, but I definitely don't get abundance. There's another borage there. There's more tomatoes that look pretty good. And then this right here just looks like trash. This is all trash, y'all. Look at these cucumber plants. This all needs to be taken up. This is the only space that we haven't gotten to pull up the cucumbers, but you can see how they look. Now they look yellow and bloated because I haven't been picking them because I knew I was going to get rid of it. Plus I got so many. But you can see this is how they look. This is typical when they've been in the ground this long. That's why I use the succession plant the cucumbers. Now let's look at the pepper row. So we have 2 rows of peppers. That's a marigold. I love, love, love this marigold. So pretty. So our peppers are slow. They've been looking good, but they have been slow to produce and slow to turn colors. Peppers are generally slow to produce, but they usually turn colors, in my experience, much quicker than what they've been doing. I don't like green bell peppers, so that's why I want them to turn. But obviously, if they don't, we'll still use them. But yeah, I got plenty of peppers all throughout, all the way down. But I'm just waiting for them to turn. We have plenty. Oh, there's one. There's one that's turned. And then this is the ahi kachua plant. This is brand new to me. It's a ahi. I'll put the name up there. I got it from Baker's Creek. It is less spicy than a habanero. It has a very good flavor. I've already used several of them and I really, really like it. And you can see it's prolific. I'm just waiting for them to turn like that orange color, like back there. But these are fantastic. Definitely will grow this one again. The second row of peppers, more of the same. Plenty peppers. Plenty peppers. More of that ahi. This is Yellow Monster. Last year I grew it outside and not in the hot tunnel. This year I have it in the hot tunnel. It's doing well. I can see that it's turning down so we can actually pick that one. They're really big. So overall, peppers are doing good. So recap on the hot tunnel. Overall, things are looking okay. The tomatoes are definitely the ones that look bad and is on the bad list. But overall, as I was going through, it wasn't as bad as I thought. And I think I've just been so focused on the tomatoes looking bad. Everything else doesn't look that bad. The peppers are still looking good. Peppers are known to be slow. That's just what they do. They show their prime usually in August and September. And so I'm not concerned about that. The jalapeno peppers are very slow. We do have some jalapeno peppers in here. Like I said, the ones that we have in here are not prolific, but we have some more outside that you'll see. And so, yeah, things in here are not bad. It's mainly the tomatoes, but everything else is looking pretty good. Except, oh, and also the cucumbers. The cucumbers look bad, but again, that's to be expected. After gardening for so many years, I just know the cucumbers, they have short shelf life. They're going to do good. They're going to produce oodles and oodles of cucumbers, and then they're going to start to look bad. But you just rip them out, and if you have time, you just go plant you some more. And if you're in my zone, you can put some more out there because they only take 50 to 55 days, and we have about 80 days left. So you can still get you a succession of cucumbers in. Which is not a problem. And in my hot tunnel, I can probably get 2 more successions in because it'll keep growing in the hot tunnel probably way past September. So now let's go to the third and final space, which is the outside garden, and I'll show you around there. Okay, so here's our outside garden space. And so again, if you're new, this space is 4,000 square feet. It's 40 by 100. And we only use this space in the summertime. That is it. So we have 8 rows that are in ground that are 100 feet each in length. So I'm gonna turn the camera around and show you, and we'll just go row by row. So this first row here is our corn. This is our second succession of corn. You can see that it is growing and looking good. So far, so good. I see that some of them must have gotten eaten because I didn't skip that many right there. So I don't know if the rabbit got it or it just did not survive as a seedling, but that's okay. Hopefully these will still pollinate up here because they don't have something real close beside it. But this again is our second succession of corn. We've already harvested our first, and we had, I don't know, 80 plus, no, we had 80 plus plants. I don't remember how many ears of corn we had, but we had a very good harvest, and it tastes great. We've been eating it probably once a week. So we'll see how the second succession does. And then the rest of the row is nothing. Behind it, we had sunflowers. The sunflowers kind of met their match. Again, sunflowers are beautiful until they're not. And so we pulled all those sunflowers out. And so this is just empty right here. On the side, we have one of our elevated raised beds. You haven't been able to see it because it's been literally covered by the sunflowers. And so in this bed, we have some gomphrena. And see, this one is way more tame than the other ones. This pink one, all the white ones are like just falling over and so big. But see, like that's pretty. And then we have some red basil in the back. We have some cinnamon basil here. We had a chamomile there. I see that didn't make it. We have marigold there. This is a bachelor button that looks like it's about to die. And then we have some anise hyssop. That's my first time growing that. And let me tell you, the bees absolutely love this anise hyssop. Now, I think you can use this as a tea, and it's supposed to be medicinal. Y'all give me some pointers, because I don't even know what part you harvest. This is my first time ever doing it. And I bought this as a transplant already started from territorial seed. And then I got one little pepper right there. This is another elevated raised bed. This is where we had our onions. Nothing is in it right now, but we are going to use it for potatoes coming up. This is another raised bed. We succession planted. We just put this stuff in here. We did some green beans. We have a zinnia there. And then this right here, I don't remember what this is. Oh, this is feverfew. And then we have some old pepper plants that we stuck in here to see if they're going to do anything. The rest of these raised beds are empty. We had our onions in here. We've weeded it as much as possible, but they need to be up level with compost, and then our potatoes are gonna go in here. Here is our Vigo bed in the corner. This is a 32-inch high Vigo. I'm glad that you only have to fill this up with soil once. So I have this in the corner. It is absolutely stunning. We have lemon balm right here in the front, filling it out. It has filled it out completely. Absolutely beautiful. Then behind it, we have some beautiful zinnias. I think this color is called Carmine. It's a new color to me. And then we have some lavender peeking out on the side. But I absolutely love this. I think it's so, so beautiful. Now going along our second row, we have some flowers at the end. That's a celosia, another zinnia. That's an agave zinnia there. There's some blackout Susans that are laying down like they tired. We have some bell peppers here. This whole row are non-spicy peppers. Tons of basil. That's a sunflower that needs to be pulled. It's dying. More basil, more flowers to fill up this row. Remember, y'all, I didn't have enough bell pepper plants, and so I just used the rest with flowers. But then there's bell pepper that can be harvested. My husband's out here, I think, harvesting, so he'll get all the stuff. I'm just doing the video tour today. That is some rosemary, more pepper plants. These are some Jimmy Nardellos. This row overall has done just okay. All the rain, and just some of these varieties are new to me. This third row, along this whole row, we have purple hull peas, rattlesnake beans, and tomatoes. So starting with the purple hull peas, you guys know that we've had a rabbit issue that's been eating our purple hull peas. And so as soon as I put out a deterrent, it keeps raining, and so it washes away my deterrent. I've been using like cotton balls soaked in vinegar, but I can't keep up with it because it just keeps raining, so it hasn't been quite effective. You can see we still have some purple hull peas. I'll definitely get my husband to get those. I've been picking them every day, and what has been good is that I guess the rabbit can't get the ones that's upper. He's been getting all the ones that's like low to the ground, but I still want those too. I don't even want him to have those, but I have been getting some, but not nearly as many as I normally do. But I see plenty out here today ready to be picked for sure. Oh, I see plenty. That makes me so happy because I just picked 2 days ago. And so there's plenty more to be picked. This next section is our rattlesnake beans. I've had some Japanese beetle damage, but they're still producing. They have been very prolific. I'm taking them in the house and letting them dry. Rattlesnake beans you can use as a green bean, or you can let it dry, and it's almost like a pinto bean that tastes really yummy. So that's how I'm using them. But it goes all the way down until you get to tomatoes. These tomatoes outside, of course, are getting so much rain. They look kind of pitiful, but they're still producing. And the ones that are producing, like there's some good ones right there. This is Amish paste. The ones that are producing have been good without disease. So this is Roma. So although this row looks bad, it still has some disease-free tomatoes on it all the way down. So the next row is where our okra is. We have, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 okra plants, so not a ton. It's just enough that's manageable, which is good. But they've been doing well. They haven't been prolific. And again, I'm so used to having like 15 or 20 okra plants that maybe I just don't have enough. But we're probably getting, I would say, anywhere between 5 to 10 a day. Yeah, somewhere along in there. Now it gets a little, all these flowers are going over to the next aisle, so I got to be real careful. Behind the okra, y'all look at these green beans. They look burnt to a crisp, and these are how the green beans are turning out. I've only had one good harvest from these green beans, and then they started to look like that. I don't know if that's some kind of disease. They look burnt. Maybe it's because of the sun. I see tons of flowers now. Those weren't there before. But the green beans, after that first harvest, have just been looking real spindly. The rest of this row, there's some bell peppers on the end. But we also had squash and zucchini in this row, but we've since pulled that up because of the squash bugs. And so it's pretty much empty in certain spaces. This next row over is our pollinator row. Out of everything in the garden, this is probably the one that's thriving the most. They are absolutely beautiful and stunning. I come out here and get flower arrangements every single week. As far as you can see, there are flowers, and I absolutely love it. And it's something about it being, it's like right in the middle of the outside garden. It is, I like this space. I may just do it again next year, even though I usually rotate my crops. I like the positioning of this flower garden. Oh, I do have something else down here on this row beside the flowers. I have some eggplant, and we have harvested maybe 4 or 5 eggplants. I have 3 eggplant plants. There's some flowers, but it hasn't been prolific at all. Not at all. We have a hole in our drip line, and so if I go down that way, I'm going to get soaking wet, so I can't do that. Let me show you the tomato row, which is the next row over. And I will say that these are doing a little bit better. They still look bad, but I'm probably getting more tomatoes from out here than in there, which is interesting because these, of course, have gotten all the rain and an excess amount of water. But I think it's because these have been planted. These were probably planted 2 to 3 weeks later than the greenhouse. So again, they have a shelf life, and so they're just lasting a little bit longer. So I'm definitely harvesting more from out here. I can't get through there, but y'all, I'll try to go on the other side so you can see. Okay, so row 7 is our spicy pepper row. So we have jalapenos that you can see there. They're doing okay. They're not prolific yet, but they are steady. So we have tons of jalapenos in this row, and I promise you the jalapeno salt is definitely coming. This is the back side of the tomato row. You can see some of the tomatoes that I couldn't get to on the other side. I don't know if you can see that, but this drip line has 3 or 4 holes in it that we just found, and my husband hasn't had a chance to fix it, and so it's just like a waterfall. So this whole row is basically peppers, mostly jalapenos. We have some serranos and some Anaheim, and they're doing, I would say, just okay. This area here are the watermelons. Y'all know that last year we had a bad watermelon year. This year the watermelons look better. We harvested one last week that was ready by all the signs, but it was not ripe on the inside. It was a light pink and not a red. And so it did not taste good whatsoever. And I know that's just because of all of the rain and the water. When you have too much rain and water, it dilutes the flavor and the sweetness and the sugars in the watermelon. So because we have 4 or 5 days of not rain, I'm going to see and harvest some hopefully when I get back in town, and hopefully we won't have rain before I get back. But I just want to see if I harvest it later, are they all going to taste bad, or will we have any that taste good? There's tons of them down there. I can't even get down there, y'all. We have cantaloupe on that end down there, but you can see it's just covered from aisle to aisle. This is 3 feet of space on both sides that we leave for the watermelons, and it's almost not enough space because along here I can't even get to these raised beds over here hardly. That's where we have some of our fruit trees and stuff like that, and blueberries. But we have tons of watermelons. Last year we had a problem with not having a lot of watermelons because of the vines and stuff dying. Well, this year we have watermelons. It's just whether or not they're going to taste any good. Over here, you know, we started setting up some more raised beds. So that's a blueberry bush. I need to take the cover off that because that's blueberry season is over for that one. Here we just have some herbs and flowers. Here is another blueberry. And then that's a blackberry. But as you can see, y'all, we got watermelon vines everywhere. We got weeds. Oh, so much, y'all. But overall, this is what it's looking like. I'll have to show you the cantaloupe on another video because, y'all, I just simply can't get down there. Okay, we're starting to lose daylight just a little bit. I told you we only had, I don't know, about 45 minutes before it got dark, but this is the only time that it was actually pleasant to come outside. So that is the garden tour. Let me talk to you a little bit about what you saw in this space. So the outside garden, again, if I had to give the spaces a grade, so the backyard garden, I would probably give that, the beds look great. I would give that maybe an A- in the outside, in the back of the house. In the greenhouse, I probably give that overall, I don't know, a B. The tomatoes get a D. Out here, I would say overall, I'd probably give it a, I don't know, a C or so. I mean, there's things that look good, like the okra is still doing fine. The green beans, I'm not sure what happened to that. We had some cucumbers out here that look just like the ones in there, so we ripped those out. The flowers look beautiful. The watermelon is a to be determined. Like, they look good on the outside, but whether or not we're going to get any that actually taste good, I am crossing my fingers and praying and hoping that we do. And it's one of those things, as a gardener, you can only control what you can control. We cannot control the weather. A lot of you have had a drought where we have had monsoons. We can't control that. All we can do is control what we plant, how we plant it, how we take care of it, and pray and hope for the best. So overall, I would say this garden season, we have still harvested a ton of food. Have I harvested as much as I had last year by this point? I don't think so. No, I'm pretty sure that I haven't. But it's not over yet. It is not over. And that's one of the reasons why, again, I have multiple spaces. I have done multiple successions, and I still have time to put some more stuff out. So I already have cucumbers ready to go in the ground. I already have squash ready to go, or almost ready to go in the ground. And I'm going to try some more peas, and I have some green beans percolating to go in the ground. So it's not over. So if you're in my area in zone 7 or even above, and you have at least, I don't know, 80 plus days left on the summer growing season, it's not over. So I wanted to give you a realistic picture of what it looks like in a garden in my area, potentially at the end of July, where it was looking lush and beautiful and everything was producing, and we were harvesting by the basketfuls every single day. We're still harvesting every single day. And I guarantee if my husband go ahead and harvest now, we're still going to have baskets of food. It's just not as much as it normally would have been had we not experienced, all of this rain and some of the setbacks and things like that. My point is this is all part of the journey. Number one, the summer is not over. Now, for some crops, it's done. Like, once these tomatoes are done and they stop producing, they're done, right? I don't have time to start new tomatoes now. I'm not going to start new tomatoes now. So whatever I get is what I get. But for the peppers and stuff, like, they still can go until the first frost, and they are going to kick in gear. Green beans, I still got time. Cucumbers, I still got time. Squash, I still got time. So whatever failures I may have had, the only things that I probably can't redo now are tomatoes and peppers. But everything else, for the most part, some of the majority of the stuff, like, I can't redo watermelons and things like that. But there's some things that I still can do. So I want you to be encouraged. I want you to be inspired. If maybe your summer garden looks like mine, looks worse than mine, didn't even have a look because you didn't produce anything, do not give up hope. You keep going to the grocery store every single week, whether they got your stuff or not, you still go. And you can go and buy some meat and a recall, and you still go to the store. So it's no sense, you don't give up going to the grocery store, so don't give up on gardening. Don't give up. Keep pressing on. Thank you guys so much for joining me today as we walk through my garden at the end of July. Let me know what questions you have. Let me know what you guys are experiencing. If you're seeing some of the same things, let me know. I'll meet you in the comments. Remember, y'all, this is all a journey. Let's do it together. I'll see you next time, friend. Thanks so much for stopping by our channel. And if you would, take a moment and go to our website at livingfoodsfarm.com. You can see all of the latest YouTube videos in case you missed one. You can subscribe to the channel, sign up for our email list, as well as join our YouTube membership. Also, we have many items for sale under the shop tab. You can go to kitchen or to skin and body, depending on what you're looking for. We source many of the items right here from things that we grow on the farm, or we buy from an organic source. We also have digital resources as well that you can instantly download. We have everything from seed starting calculators, how to build healthy soil, as well as 2-hour classes, replays on sourdough, canning, and fall gardening, and how to start your garden for the very first time. So go take a look, see if there's anything that you would be interested in, and thank you so much again for stopping by our channel.